It's time now for the Life and Times of History's Greatest Horror Movies Slashers Abridged Survival Guide with Ali and Jay.
Today's subject, Jack Frost, aka the thing that used to scare the out of baby Jay.
Hey.
What?
At any rate, this was supposed to be a Christmas special, but drawing a whole bunch of pictures takes a really long time, even if the drawings are all cheap and cartoonish.
So, Merry whenever. Before he was the world's most pissed off snow cone, Jack Frost was a batshit serial killer with an undefined motivation who showed no mercy. Long story short, it got messy. He committed a 5-year-long killing spree by drifting state to state, avoiding the police in the process and racking up a body count of 38. I wonder if he ever killed anyone in
Ohio.
Eventually, he ended up in Colorado in the outskirts of Snowman, where he found work at Mrs. Puddle's Pecan Pies. Wait, Snowman?
Of course! Building snowmen are these people's only identity.
And I thought my life was meaningless.
Anyways, Jack started leaving bits of dead people in the pecan pies. I mean, on choice. The FBI catches on, but before Jack can ditch the scene, a Snowman sheriff named Sam finds him taking a leak on the side of the road and arrests him. He's sentenced to fry on Christmas Day, but when en route to the execution site, the truck crashes into another truck full of some sort of acid that bonds DNA with whatever's lying around in case of nuclear holocaust. When civilization's wiped out, humanity's totally gonna rebuild itself once we're resurrected as a bunch of lopsided rebel mutants. Duh.
The acid spills on I Can't Believe It's Not Bruce Campbell, and he becomes one with the snow, and thus, Jack Frost, the mutant killer snowman, is born. To get revenge on Sam, he begins a killing spree in Snowman with his newfound super strength, shooting icicles, and the ability to melt from room to room. Oh, and a carrot. I'd rather not think about that one.
He's actually quite nimble for someone whose arms possess no movement, and I'm sure he'd be able to kill even more people if the bastard actually looked the way he does on the f***ing box.
Sheriff Sam, FBI dude, and other townsfolk fend him off with whatever they can get their hands on. Hair dryers, explosions, bullets!
Even the dude who invented the magic soul acid tries convincing Jack to turn human again, so Jack engorges him and tries to sneak away himself. Possession, inflation, and war! It's a DeviantArt goldmine! Needless to say, it doesn't work.
Sam shoves a baggie of antifreeze laced oatmeal in Jack's face, burning it to a bloody, throbbing, yogurty pulp, because that's how snow works. After this, Sam fills a pickup truck with antifreeze and wrestles Jack into it, finally melting him to death. And just to be safe, they collect all the antifreeze in bottles and bury them in the woods.
1 year later, the most incompetent scientist since Gremlins digs up the antifreeze and do science with it. Meanwhile, Sam leaves Colorado for a Christmas vacation on some tropical island. A cup of coffee spills into the antifreeze and wakes up Jack's soul or whatever, so he goes down the drain and floats to the island where Sam is. How?
Before Jack died, he stuck Sam through the chest with an icicle, so I guess he got mixed up with Sam's blood, granting them some sort of psychic link. They don't switch personalities, Sam doesn't get homicidal urges or anything. No, they just sort of feel each other.
What the kind of sense does that make? Remember FBI dude last movie? He got his f***ing face chewed off. He survived somehow and happens to work on the island? There's no psychic blood link with that guy?
I think the real takeaway from this, Jack's icicles are about as lethal as, well, a snowball. For all we know, the kid who got shot through the face last movie's doing okay too.
At this point, I'd say they're about as lethal as a Hostess snowball.
Anyhow, Jack washes up on the beach and kills vacationers with superpowers he somehow has now. For one thing, he can actually move his arms. He can also turn into anvils, blow people up from the inside out, freeze things, and somehow causes a snowstorm on the otherwise sunny island.
What the is with this goddamn coffee? Chemical X? A splash of Starbucks turned a year-old bucket of water into the f***ing weather dominator? And antifreeze doesn't kill Jack now because horror sequel. Instead, it does something much worse. It impregnates him? He punches up an army of snowball babies, then just sort of fucks off. No joke, I have zero clue where Jack is at this point in the movie. Motherfucker gives birth and just hits the road the first chance he gets? Great fucking dad. The snowball kills a few people, but our hero finds that banana smoothies make them explode because Sam's allergic to bananas. So they fill a bunch of squirt guns with banana smoothies and... You know, these movies aren't supposed to make sense, but Jesus, man. This used to fucking scare you? I had to talk you down from trees whenever it snowed when we were kids.
Anyways, after all the babies blow up, Jack comes back from wherever he was hiding and vows to avenge his family. Thankfully, Sam saves the day with a banana tied to the end of an archery bow, causing Sam to explode in a big, bloody mess. Isn't that a fine how do you do? Oh, but that's not the end. Sorta. Jack somehow survives and evolves into Jackzilla. How? Who frickin' knows? For better or for worse, Jack Frost 3 never got off the ground, but apparently it was going to involve Jackzilla attacking cities and flooding skyscrapers.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, for what it's worth, Jack Frost 2 is still a better Psychic Link movie than The Last Jedi.
I'm just surprised I made it this far without making a Chucky reference.
Now that I think about it, we didn't make many ice puns either.
Whatever we could have thought up was already used in Batman and Robin.
Today's moral: bananas! They're nutritious.
Speaking of Batman, I'm still not convinced this isn't connected to the Michael Keaton movie.
Oh, for fuck's sake, we talked about this since we were kids. It's just a coincidence.
Impossible! Both are named Jack Frost, both died in car accidents, both get revenge on sled-riding teenage bullies, they're both deadbeat dads, it's all connected.
Greetings and salutations, Ali and Jay. This is Scott MacDonald, Jack Frost himself here.
Jesus Christ.
And I've heard what you've been saying in your cheap little cartoon show. You better watch out what you say about horror icons, or else you're really gonna make me the world's most pissed off snow cone.
What does he mean by cheap cartoon show?
Jay, just for the record, my movie isn't associated with that pansy Jack Frost with Michael Keaton in any way, shape, or form. I'm the original mutant killer snowman.
Told you. What the?
Ha ha!